So God chose Jeremiah because he knows who we really are. So today we're going to learn a little bit about Jeremiah and then how Jeremiah's story applies to us. Did you know there's a whole book in the Bible dedicated to Jeremiah's story? So let's listen to what that looks like.
God spoke to Jeremiah and said, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations.
Jeremiah felt like he was too young to be a prophet. Do you ever feel too young to do something important?
God spoke to Jeremiah and said, Don't say, I'm too young, for you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you. And don't be afraid of the people, for I will be with you and will protect you. I, the Lord, have spoken. God touched Jeremiah's mouth and gave him the words to say. God said, Look, I have put my words in your mouth. Today I appoint you to stand up against nations and kingdoms. Some you must uproot and tear down, destroy and overthrow. Others you must build up and plant.
God has given you the tools you need to do what He's called you to do.
God showed Jeremiah a branch from an almond tree. He said, It means that I am watching and I will certainly carry out all my plans.
God is watching you and will carry out His plans for you.
God showed Jeremiah a pot of boiling water spilling from the north. God said, Terror from the north will boil out on the people of this land. Listen, I am calling the armies of the kingdoms of the north to come to Jerusalem. I, the Lord, have spoken.
God knows who we really are. He knew Jeremiah was the right person to share this message, even though it was hard to hear.
God told Jeremiah, Get up and prepare for action. Go out and tell them everything I tell you to say. Do not be afraid of them, or I will make you look foolish in front of them. For see, today I have made you strong like a fortified city that cannot be captured, like an iron pillar or a bronze wall. You will stand against the whole land, the kings, officials, priests, and people of Judah. They will fight you, but they will fail. For I am with you. I will take care of you. I, the Lord, have spoken.
God knows who you really are. He has made you strong, and He is with you.
So we heard God talked to Jeremiah, and he said, Before I formed you in your mother's body, I chose you. Before you were born, I set you apart to serve me. I appointed you to be a prophet to the nations. And that's a really cool thing that God did. He picked Jeremiah. But we also learned that Jeremiah, even though he said, God, you're my Lord and my King, but I don't know how to speak. I'm too young. He felt scared, and he felt like he wasn't old enough or big enough to do what God wanted him to do. So God made sure Jeremiah knew that God is in charge. And he said, Do not be afraid. I am with you. And do you see all those words in orange there? That's God talking. I've put my words in your mouth. I'm appointing you. I give you authority. He says, I give you authority 3 different times. So he is going to make sure that Jeremiah has the ability to do the things that God has chosen him to do. Because he gave him talents, right? He put the words in his mouth and he picked him to do something really cool and special, even though it was a really hard job that Jeremiah had to do. So we're going to try something. I'm going to give you a hard job, okay? Look at this screen. And I want you to say the letters of the alphabet backwards in the next 30 seconds. Ready? Alphabet backwards. Go. Okay, that wasn't quite 30 seconds. It was only 10 seconds. But it was a really hard job, wasn't it? Almost impossible. Probably some of you thought, there's no way I can say the alphabet backwards. But what if I equip you? What if I give you the tools you need to make sure that you can do it? Now, do you think you could say the alphabet backwards in 30 seconds? I bet you could. Want to try it? All right. Ready, get set, go. Okay, so you probably got a whole lot farther that time, didn't you? Because you had the tools to get the job done. And that's what God gives us. God gives us tools to get the jobs done that He wants us to do. Maybe you're waiting for a house or a job or money or a place that you can do really cool things. But what do you think? Can God use you now or only when you grow up and get a job? I think God can use you anytime you are willing to be used. So if that means that you have some cool things that you would like to do, you need to serve God now with your talents. So some of you might be really good listeners and you like to listen to friends' stories, or maybe you have some musical talent. Maybe you could tell someone about Jesus in your school or in a club that you're in. Or some of you I saw helped at VBS this summer and helped some littler kids learn about Jesus. Those are all great ways that God can use you right now because God knows who you really are. Sometimes it's confusing because we see one thing on the outside and maybe everyone looks the same on the outside, but God gave each of us special and unique talents and He wants to use them, and He chose you to do the things that He wants for you to do, and He's going to give you the tools to make sure that you can do it. So this week, what I'd like you to do is make a paper chain. Have you seen these with guys that are cut out of paper? And you can cut one out of a long piece of paper. You fold it where the hands and feet meet. And on one side, you're not going to do anything. On the inside of the paper chain, you're going to draw a whole bunch of things that you like and that you're good at. Maybe it's soccer, maybe it's music, maybe it's listening, maybe it's reading. So draw some things that you're good at, and then when you fold it up, you're going to look at it, and on the outside, it's not going to have anything because a lot of times people look the same on the outside. But then when you open it up on the inside, it's going to show all those special things that God gave you, and you are going to be able to use those to honor Him. All right, send me pictures of your paper chains. I would love to see them and see all the things that you guys are good at. And I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.